In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 items that I used to buy all the time, but that I hardly ever do anymore. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. If you are new here, welcome, hello, my name is Diana. I am with The Joyful Dabbler, and on this channel, I create videos about minimalism, mindful living, and meditation. So if that sounds like something that would be interesting to you, then please hit that subscribe button down below. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for clicking onto this video. I really appreciate your support 100%. And now let's get right on into the video. Item number 1, new clothes. So I used to buy new clothes every single year. I tended to shop at the mid-level fancy stores, not the ones that are really fancy and expensive, but the ones that are kind of under that, like Banana Republic, J. Crew, Ann Taylor Loft, things like that. I had to go there to get my business casual clothes, and then I also just wanted pretty new clothes. The only issue was every time I would buy new clothes, I was all excited about them for a few months, and then the novelty wore off and it wasn't such a big deal anymore. So a few years ago, I decided to try ThredUp. This is an online thrift store. It's an online consignment shop, and I found lots of great things on there for really cheap prices. I was amazed, honestly. The clothes that I was able to get were of good quality. They were really pretty. They fit me great. And they were so much cheaper than regular retail. So I bought a few things off of that. I also went back to shopping at Old Navy. So I used to shop at Old Navy way back a long time ago. And so I moved back to shopping at Old Navy again. The thing is, the clothes fit me really well. The quality is good. All of the jeans that I have had from Old Navy for 10 years, 15 years, they're still fine. They still fit me fine. They still are of good quality. They're not torn, they're not frayed, nothing like that. Now, at this time, I have a reasonable size wardrobe. It's not a big wardrobe by any means. But the thing is, at this point, I find that I don't really need to buy new clothes anymore. I haven't had to buy clothes that fit me differently. I haven't had to buy clothes because things ripped or tore or anything like that. All of my clothes have been good quality no matter where I've purchased them. So I found that I'm happy with what I already have in my closet. Item number 2 is makeup. So I used to wear makeup every single day. I did not want to leave the house without my makeup on, like a full face of makeup. But I started to feel like I didn't really want to spend so much time on makeup. I usually spent about 10 minutes in the morning, which I know to some people is not that much, but for me, I was like, it's 10 minutes. I kind of would like to have that back and do something else with it, like sleep. So I was thinking about it and I was like, well, maybe I'd kind of like to ease out of makeup. But the thing is, when you wear a full face of makeup every single day and then you go to not wearing any makeup at all or wearing a lot less, it can be a bit of a shock for people who see you all the time. So when I switched jobs back in 2018, I switched employers. At that time, I thought, okay, this is probably a good time to ease out of the makeup a little bit. So I stopped wearing eye makeup. And then when I was at my new job, I did see other girls not wearing makeup. And obviously I would see guys not wearing makeup, and I kind of always felt envious of guys who didn't have to wear makeup. They basically just, groomed their face, shaved and whatnot. But other than that, they didn't have to spend all the time that girls do on makeup. So I was like, well, if they can do it, well, why can't I? I felt that I needed to learn to get comfortable in my own skin. So in 2019, when I went on a vacation, I decided to not wear makeup at all for that week of vacation. And honestly, it felt so nice and so freeing not to have to deal with it. So then when I went back into the office after my vacation was over, I just continued to not wear makeup. And nobody noticed or cared or said anything. So all was good. I liked the no maintenance part of it. My morning got so much easier. So ever since then, I have not worn makeup during the day-to-day. Now, obviously, I am wearing makeup right now. I do put on makeup specifically for filming, but other than that, day-to-day, I do not wear makeup. And if I don't use makeup, then I don't need to buy it. Okay, item number 3, cell phones. Every 2 years, I would upgrade as soon as I was eligible with my cell phone carrier. I would always go out and grab the newest phone. It was the best thing. I loved the advances in technology. Everything was changing so quickly. There was always something new. There was always a new wow factor. So obviously I wanted to get the new version. I wanted to get the newest model, or I would move between iPhone and Samsung. So then in 2017, I purchased the iPhone 7. Now, up until this point, I had purchased my cell phones outright. Unlike what a lot of us do nowadays, which is financing the phone over 2 years and then just adding that onto the monthly cell phone wireless bill, I would pay the phone off 100%. But when I purchased my iPhone in 2017, I decided, okay, let me go ahead and pay for it over 2 years. That's fine, I can do that. But then when the phone was finally paid off and my cell phone bill went down by $20 or $30, whatever it was, I was like, ooh, I have $20 or $30 more a month. I like this. I like not having an additional cell phone payment. Let me maybe not buy another phone quite yet. Now, one thing that I've noticed, at least it seems this way to me, I feel like previously there were always such big improvements in the cell phone technology. I feel like more recently, in the last few years, the improvements haven't been as life-changing, as amazing. I feel like it's been faster processing chip, or faster memory, or better camera, like basically just increasing the specs on the equipment that's already in the phones, not adding brand new technology. My phone hasn't really slowed down or anything like that. The only thing that I've noticed is the battery life in my phone has decreased substantially. But the thing is, you can just purchase a new battery for the phone and have Apple replace it. You don't need to actually purchase a whole new phone. I feel like as long as my phone is still working, I'm going to keep using it as is. Item number 4, craft fair purchases. So I used to love to go to craft fairs at festivals, etc. There's always so many wonderful things that you can buy, and they're usually unique. They're all handcrafted, they're all very beautiful, and I honestly didn't really care much about the prices of some of these things because they were unique and I'd never seen them before. So I'd always buy these knickknacks and things to put up around the house and whatnot, but they would end up just sitting there and collecting dust. They weren't really that meaningful to me. Now, I really only buy something that I really like, and I have to really think long and hard about it before actually going ahead and making a purchase. I no longer do impulse spending if I can help it, and especially if an item is $50, $100, I will think more on it before actually deciding, okay, do I want to make this purchase? Item number 5 is books. So I have always been a bookworm. I have always loved books. I devour them. Once I read a book one time, I tend not to reread that book, or I don't tend to reread it for a long time. I crave new stories. I always want to be reading something new. Once I've read something one time, I'm like, okay, I know what happens. I'm not really that interested in rereading it. That's just me. Now, I love going into a bookstore, but even more, I love going into a library. I always have loved going into a library. It is my happy place. So what makes more sense for me is, rather than purchasing new books and then having them just sit on my bookshelf or on my Kindle waiting for me to read them again, rather than for me to do that, it makes more sense for me to just check out the books that I want to read or that I need to read out of the library. And that way I get them for free. I don't need to pay any money for them. And then once I'm done, I get to return them so they're not taking up space in my home. And I can do this with ebooks as well. The local library has lots and lots of ebooks, so I do the same thing there. For that reason, I am no longer purchasing new books if I can help it. If it is available in my library, I will go ahead and get it from there. I will admit though, at this time I am starting to reread books that are on my bookshelf. Yay. Item number 6, DVDs. Every time I saw a wonderful movie in theaters, I knew that I was going to go out and get the DVD or Blu-ray as soon as it came out, because I knew that I wanted that video for myself at home. I wanted to be able to watch it whenever I wanted. But the only problem is I treat DVDs kind of similarly to the way I treat books. If I've seen it once or twice, then I don't tend to watch it again for a long time. And unfortunately, that means the DVDs just sit there on my entertainment unit collecting dust. What I do now whenever I want to watch a movie is I just go to Amazon online and just rent it. Or if it's available on Disney Plus or Roku channel, I will go ahead and watch it there. And item number 7 is multiple streaming services. I used to pay for a bunch of different streaming services. I had Netflix, I had Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, I had a bunch of them. I didn't tend to watch a lot of what was being offered, just like with cable. Whenever I used to have cable in the past, I only tended to watch maybe 10 channels out of the huge package that I paid for. It was similar to that with the streaming services. I found that I wasn't watching a lot of the content on each particular service. Or I would spend a lot of time one month binge watching on one service and then completely ignore the others that I was paying for. So I basically was only getting use out of one service at a time. So I went through the streaming services that I had and I decided to strip out what I wasn't actually getting a lot of use out of. So I looked at what I actually watched on each of the streaming services that I paid for. The types of things that were on Netflix, I usually would be very into 1 or 2 shows, but not a whole ton of stuff. In regards to Hulu, a lot of the stuff that I found on there was your newer TV shows. Now, me, I'm a 90s kid. I like the wholesome sitcoms that I grew up with. And the thing is, I personally prefer those wholesome TV shows. It's kind of like our parents prefer the shows of their youth versus the shows that are on now. It's the same thing with me. I'm 37 years old and I'm old. In addition, with Hulu, I didn't really like the idea of paying for something and still having ads. I was like, why am I paying for this if I have to have ads with it? So that was that. So at this time, I only pay for one streaming service. I have Disney Plus. For me, it is the best deal. It's only $6 a month, $70 a year. I pay for the annual plan. And I love Disney. I am an avid Disney fan. I love Disney movies. I love the Disney sitcoms, the Disney TV shows, and Disney owns so many other brands of entertainment as well. So there are a lot of movies available on Disney Plus that are not necessarily Disney movies. They are Fox movies or something like that. In addition to Disney Plus, I have a Roku for my streaming. Roku has access to a bunch of free streaming channels that I don't need to pay for. Things like Plex, Pluto, Roku channel specifically, and these free services have a rotating list of TV shows and movies. So I have an abundance of things that I can still watch between the streaming service that I pay for, Disney Plus, and the free Roku options that I have available. So there you have it. Those are 7 items that I used to purchase all the time and that I hardly ever do anymore. It really has helped to simplify my life. If you liked this video, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again next time.